Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving straight into a fascinating intersection, how ancient Stoic philosophy tackles a very modern problem. We're talking about that crushing weight of daily overwhelm. You know the feeling, right? If you've ever felt like your mind is just carrying a burden it absolutely wasn't built for, well, let's unpack exactly how to fix that.
Picture this. You're lying in bed, the weight of the day is supposed to be fading, but instead, your mind just drifts right into this endless cycle of worry. Your thoughts are racing, running through a million possibilities, choices, and anxieties. But what if instead of falling into that usual trap, you could just let it go? What if the absolute secret to finding peace isn't about perfectly managing your life, but simply caring less? By letting go of the need to control every little outcome, we might just uncover a much more enduring path to peace.
Section 1. The Modern Anxiety Epidemic.
We live in an era where the modern mantra is literally time is money. Our fast-paced, hyper-connected lifestyle, combined with this constant barrage of notifications and distractions, has basically turned existence into a relentless pursuit of efficiency. And the cost? A massive surge in stress, anxiety, and burnout, all because we're trying to process just an impossible amount of information.
Just to put that into perspective, consider this number, 35,000. That is the average number of decisions a person makes every single day. I mean, from the moment we wake up, we are just bombarded. This sheer volume completely depletes our attention span and fuels overthinking, keeping our minds from ever truly resting. Section 2. The Dichotomy of Control.
Let's look at the philosopher king himself, Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor, the most powerful man in the known world, he had limitless power. He could have indulged in absolutely anything, the wine, the Colosseum, you name it. But instead, he chose restraint and virtue to serve humanity. He realized that fulfilling his true purpose meant actively caring less about things unworthy of his attention. It really goes to show that true power isn't external at all. It's the mastery of your own mind.
And this brings us to Epictetus, and honestly, a foundational concept of the whole philosophy, the Stoic divide. It's like a giant sorting mechanism for reality, splitting it right in two. On one side, we have what is up to us, our actions, our reactions, and our judgments. Simple enough, right? But on the other side is what is totally not up to us, past events, external circumstances, and, of course, what other people think. The big takeaway here? To fully master what you control, you absolutely must choose to care less about what you don't.
Section 3. Mastering your internal world.
Marcus Aurelius once noted that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It's such a vivid image, isn't it? Our inner reality is entirely shaped by where we direct our mental energy. If you constantly focus on the uncontrollable, your soul gets dyed with anxiety. But if you shift that focus to reason and virtue, it becomes dyed with peace.
So how do we manage those thoughts? Through a practice called cognitive reframing. Now, to be clear, this isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you just don't feel pain. Actually, scratch that. It's more about intelligently reinterpreting that adversity. You look at a tough situation through a lens of stoic detachment and simply choose not to feel harmed by it. By changing your perception, you reclaim your agency over your inner state. You step out of the emotional storm and right into the calm.
Section 4. The obstacle is the way. Adversity is inevitable for all of us, but Marcus Aurelius wrote something brilliant about this. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is a total game changer for your perspective. That difficult coworker, the unexpected financial hit, the canceled flight, these aren't just annoying barriers in your life. They are actually the crucibles that forge your resilience. They're the literal training ground for your mind.
And to truly live that out, Stoics practice a concept called amor fati, which translates to the love of fate. Notice the word love there. It's not just tolerating your circumstances or kind of putting up with them with a gritted smile. No, it's actively embracing whatever fate throws at you with courage and equanimity. When you recognize that every single challenge is actually an opportunity for self-transformation, you completely neutralize your anxiety about the future. You literally stop fighting reality and start working with it.
Section 5. Embracing our ephemeral nature.
The philosopher Seneca famously pointed out that it isn't that we have a short time to live, but rather that we waste so much of it. Think about it. We spend a massive portion of our lives, metaphorically like 80%, worrying about things that are completely outside of our control. That leaves only a tiny fraction to actually be lived intentionally. Marcus Aurelius captured this impermanence perfectly with a really vivid metaphor. He said, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is gone." When you truly internalize just how fast this current is moving, you realize how absolutely absurd it is to cling to fleeting stressors. I mean, why waste your precious, limited time stressing over a rude comment or a delayed train when it's all just going to be washed away in the current anyway?
Section 6. Living the Stoic Life.
So, how do we apply all this? Well, the next time you feel overwhelmed, try running through this cognitive reframing protocol. First, just observe the emotion with detached curiosity. Don't let yourself get swept away by it. Second, detach the actual event from your judgment of the event. Remember, the event itself isn't upsetting you. Your opinion about it is. And finally, step 3, actively choose a rational, virtuous reaction. You control your mind. Use it. It really all comes down to building your routine on some core daily pillars. You start by practicing moderation in all things, which is a great way to combat our modern culture of excess. Then, you actively work on letting go of your ego and that exhausting need for external validation. Just remember, what others think is strictly in that, not up to us column. It's also crucial to find purpose in serving others. Like Aurelius noted, what is good for the beehive is good for the bee. And lastly, accept the present moment with all your heart. These are the habits that build an unbreakable, resilient mind capable of weathering the modern epidemic of anxiety. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. Marcus Aurelius used to tell himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Now, I know that sounds a bit dark at first, but honestly, it's the most liberating concept of all. It empowers you to immediately stop caring about the trivial, to just drop the anxiety over things you can't control, and to focus deeply and passionately on the present moment. So what are you going to choose to care less about today?